Hello, and welcome to Fusion Writing, where building character meets creating structure. This is our writing week, and we have got some fun planned for you to put all of these wonderful teachings for this month to work. So, Victoria, what do you want to start us off with?
Well, after we've spent this month talking about the chronotope, which is using time and space in your story, I've received a handful of questions about a couple of specific aspects. So that's the writing exercises I want to give you. First, let's talk about time. In terms of time, the most frequent question that I get is, how do I choose my timeline and what should that look like in the writing, especially early on? So if you're one of those people that is just getting started in your story, maybe the details still seem slippery or fuzzy and you're just not quite sure, here's what I want you to do. It's a simple exercise to just sit down, and I just want you to write day one. Write out a description of day one of your story. So I took a long hiatus away from my own novel, and in order to get back into that world, the way that I found my way was I just wrote myself a quick one-page letter. What does day one look like? What do I remember about it? What's important about it? Why is it important to the characters? So all you're doing is you're just helping your brain grab those threads and pull each one through using time, which is the first day of your story. Now, the second question I got on that topic was, what if I don't know when my story starts? That's okay. You don't have to know that right off the bat. Instead, what if you take a character and write from their point of view? Now, presumably, if you've done your character development, hopefully using your character development cards, or if you've done some draft work, figuring out maybe who your main point of view character is, start with them because that's the character you know. So start thinking in the main point of view, let's call her Sally, which is your main female character. She's your heroine. She's your protagonist, your point of view. She knows everything about this world. And she's the one that's going to have to learn some lessons in your story. Start with Sally and say to yourself, hey, Sally, tell me about this day in the story. Just tell me what your world looks like. And then drop yourself into Sally's point of view and write it out. Well, Victoria, on this day in the story, I had this terrible thing happen and I went running out of my building at the office and I bumped into this man. And then I had to make a decision. Am I going to engage with him or not? What you're doing as you're simply writing that character's tale about what's happening is you're helping your brain see the breadcrumbs through. Then, if you want to do an advanced maneuver, take that main character of Sally and stick her in with somebody else. Have her dialogue with somebody, and rather than writing to yourself from her point of view, have her talk with somebody about what's going on that day. You don't even have to know what day it is or what season it is. It doesn't matter. The whole point is position yourself at her place in time and just write a summary of what's happening and then put it into some dialogue. So you start to get a sense of that cadence. What does she sound like and how is she describing her world? And then for your final exercise, we're going to flip over to the space side. Drop back into that main point of view, or maybe you don't have your point of view character yet. Maybe you're still just noodling around with this idea. That's okay. Write the space portion of the exercise as yourself, the author. Pick somebody that you speak absolutely plainly and clearly to. If it were me, I would write to a Miss Kathleen Spracklen, and I would just say, Dear Kathleen, I have this really great idea for how to kick off this story. I don't know who the main character is yet, but these are the key ideas. And then just describe them like you were describing them to a friend. All of these exercises are simply geared to getting the words on the page. Because I say all the time, and those ideas and those scenes, the time, the place, the setting, when all that stuff is in your head, it's perfect. Because you know exactly what you mean. But when you start putting it on the page, it kind of turns into sloppy goo. We all know that. That's normal. Get it on the page, and then you've got something to work with. You can look at that letter to that dear friend and say, okay, I really like what I've got going on here. I like how she describes the apartment she lives in. I'm really not loving over here when she talks about having a conflict with this friend. That doesn't feel right. So you're going to cross that out. Maybe you're going to change the conflict with her boss. Doesn't matter. The whole point is get those descriptions down, either on the topic of the time when the story takes place, the space where it happens, and the surroundings and the setting, or the character. If all you know is one of those things, you have enough information to start writing out that first draft of the story and get those early zero elements onto the page so that you have something to work with. So that's it, guys. Think about time and space. And if you need to, go to character and write those things out so that you have something to work with. Kathleen?
Okay, thank you, Victoria. It sounds terrific. Well, we're going to write about the character trait of trustworthiness. And because Victoria's theme has been about time and space, we're going to weave time and space into the writing of trustworthiness. When you think about it, trustworthiness is one of those character traits that takes a long time to establish. If you're a total stranger to a group, your character is unknown, he's not going to automatically be presumed to be trustworthy. There takes a space and a time to bring that character trait to the fore so that others around him can understand that that trustworthiness is there. This can especially be true if your character is a young person and is automatically assumed to be maybe not have trustworthiness down all that well yet. So think about how you're going to write that element of time so that trustworthiness turns out to be believable. How will you space that out? Then we're also going to be talking about place. And in particular, we're going to be talking about how do you challenge trustworthiness. If you're going to take a character and you're going to put the trustworthiness to the test, what are you going to place before your character? What are you going to offer as this golden thing? Come to me, give up your trustworthiness. This is so wonderful. What kind of a thing are you going to put out there that's going to cause that either that allure or maybe it'll be a confusion. Maybe your character is super trustworthy, but is it this or is it this? Is it this or this? And they're in conflict with one another and he doesn't know where trustworthy behavior lies. Is trustworthy behavior going this way or is trustworthy behavior going the other way? And he has to decide in space, where does he put himself to be trustworthy? So this will give you an opportunity to practice making something that is so ethereal as trustworthiness, making it more down to earth and concrete. Say, for example, you want to test early on, you want to show that your character is trustworthy. Character is walking down the street and the wallet is gradually slipping out of the fellow's back pocket, and one more step and kablunk, it falls on the sidewalk. Well, your character young kid even could come running up, grab the wallet and hand it to the guy. This you lost your wallet. Now already you're showing in time and in space, you're giving a hint that this character is trustworthy. That's just a little example to get you going. This will help anchor your story and help you realize that establishing these character traits has to happen in time or place or no one can see them. Victoria, you have anything to add?
Oh, that is fantastic. So look what Kathleen just did. She took the simple exercises that I gave you and she added another leg to that table, which is adding some kind of challenge or conflict that reveals something about your character or your situation. So that, my friends, is a perfect complement to the exercises that I gave you. If you're absolutely stuck as you're writing that letter, add a conflict or a challenge and think about, where is trustworthiness in this character's makeup? Is it there at all? Does it matter? Take out that pen, write a letter to your friend and say, I'm looking at this character and I don't know if I can trust him or not. That could be a super fun discovery exercise if you just lean into it and do the writing. So, Kathleen, if people want to find us, where might they look to check us out?
Come on over to LiLLiPub.org. It's where we hang out when we're not here in YouTube land. And Victoria has this challenge that's been going on for the month of March. And guess what? We have a whole extra week in the month of March. This is our writing week, and we already have one more Monday. The 30th is another Monday. So we will have one more week that's basically free. So you get 2 weeks to do your writing assignment, and you can post it over here in LiLLiPub, share your writing, join us in our Fusion Writing groups on Saturday, and get some real-time, real-live commentary back on how you did on your exercise. So come on over and we'll see you in LiLLiPub. Otherwise, it'll be 2 weeks. You get a week off. See you then. Bye-bye.